fact remains
Holla peace, we're back in court right now.
Conflict and is dealing with such repressed feelings, the possibility of this alternative reality developing does exist. In its most extreme form, it would take the form of a dissociative identity disorder, but that was not the case here, but that's the best example.
Dissociative, that's like multiple personalities.
So you said as long as the person is still in conflict.
The person is in conflict, the person is still experiencing distress, the person is still experiencing the physiological effects of stress, yes, it would very likely sustain that defense mechanism.
Okay, and so is that something, would you consider Jody still being in conflict when she's not able to deal with the fact of what happened on June 4th? Is that the kind of conflict you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so can somebody be in that type of conflict then until the point of years?
Had to let them.
Oh, it can happen, yes, it certainly can happen.
All right, and when Jody eventually, bless you, when Jody eventually came out of this conflict and was able to actually tell you and tell her attorney what happened on June 4th of 2008, how did she feel?
Characterizing, actually.
When she told you what she says actually happened on June 4th, and the times after that, how did she feel about being able to release that information finally?
Sidebar. Boring.
All right, so a quick approach there, and
I like that guy.
So only a few questions for Samuels, but they are going right to the point. The defense is of this idea of conflict. Let's listen.
When Jody talked to you,
whole fucking country's watching this show.
Actually happened on June 4th.
Got our popcorn, so watch this move.
After that,
you know what? I have popcorn.
How did she feel about being able to release that information?
She told me that she felt as if a tremendous pressure, a tremendous weight had been lifted from her shoulders.
And is that further evidence, or is that further support for you of a defense mechanism versus covering up?
Yes.
So back and watch this courtroom drama with
you
you guys.
were speaking to her about, whenever she would talk to you about the thoughts of killing herself, okay? That's what we're going to talk about for a second. If she would have given you a plan, that she actually had a plan to do, what would you have done with that information?
Well, if a client gives you a plan for suicide, then you must take immediate steps. And depending upon the circumstances, you would contact the appropriate individuals. That could be, if they're at large, it could be a family member, it could be their doctor, it could be an emergency suicide line. In case of the jail, had that occurred, I would have contacted the jail authorities, the medical department, and alerted them to this possibility, as well as her attorney.
And if...
All right, so you see the questions coming for Samuels, and the point here basically is that Jody created an alternative reality. It could have lasted for a very long period of time, and the defense is basically trying to explain her behaviors, all the different things she did after killing Travis. Now, you have questions about the trial, just ask our experts. Just post your questions on our Facebook page.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
Evening Express. And we are here to answer more from Samuels coming up.
Popcorn yellow. My windbreaker's yellow. Don't you love popcorn? Popcorn is very good. It's a good healthy snack. I worked a little bit on my autobiography last night. I added one line. Wow. I'm gonna do it. Baby's doing laundry. Okay. But she does have the red phone on her. Work night and day, baby. That's what it is. If you have a business, hit us up. We'll make sure the word gets out for you. And remember, victims of Sandy, Hurricane Sandy, we have not forgotten about you. If you need advertising, we can make you a great deal and get the word out that you are functional. Because some people may not know that you're functional. You may be doing it out of your house now. So contact Shree and Baby. Holla 702-273-0314. Anytime between the hours of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can even call us on Saturday and Sunday. We're always there for you. That's what's up. Alright, we're at 7:09. We're back live in the Jodi Arias trial.
To kill herself, and was going to use a razor, and went so far as actually trying to cut herself, so that it was something that she did do. If she had told you that, is that something then that you would have had to have been on alert for with the jail?
Absolutely.
And when the jail goes on alert that somebody, an inmate, might actually be might actually try to commit suicide, do you have knowledge as to what the jail is going to do with that person?
I do.
What do they do?
Well, they put the person on suicide watch, where they're monitored every few minutes. They would have a consult with a psychiatrist. Medication evaluation would be done, possibly placing the individual on antidepressant medication, although antidepressant
popcorn
medication
all over
doesn't
the floor.
begin working immediately, but at least it would be initiated. And mostly they would be very closely observed and probably placed in isolation.
Falls through my
nails. When you
nails.
talk about being closely observed, that means they lose any semblance of privacy that they might have.
That is
right?
correct.
And when you talk about being in isolation, that means they lose any type of social interaction.
Now this is the, oh
Do they
no.
lose any type of social interaction when somebody is placed in isolation?
They have no social interaction.
Okay. And
My nails are so
when
trash.
somebody is placed for suicide watch, do they also take everything away from them?
The person is, yes, everything was taken away from the
Well,
individual.
there wasn't really anything in there, you know.
Even their clothing. Although I don't know that would be the case.
I need my nail glue.
Potentially a risk is taken away. So you're really isolated.
So when you talk about that in some cases they'll take their clothing away because potentially they can strangle themselves, right?
That's correct. They can hang themselves with their clothing.
And so hang themselves. And so that's why they would take their clothing away.
That's right.
In your experience with what you've seen happen to people who have any type of report about a plan of suicide, is it somewhat humiliating for the person?
Yes, I know. Let's be on scope of the question.
Sustained. Judge may reproach.
Oh.
All right, they're
Another
talking about
sidebar.
Suicidal thoughts of Jodi Arias, or so she says she had them. And the point here, remember, Jodi Arias said she didn't say anything about it until we heard about it at trial because she didn't want to be put on suicide watch. And you see Jennifer Wilmot going through the same thing with Samuels, trying to get him to also offer that as well as a reason to explain why she never said anything about that earlier. Now, tune in tonight. HLN's newest hit show, HLN After Dark. After all about the Jodi Arias trial, Vinnie Politan and me host. The bold accusation: did Travis abuse Jodi?
Sociopath. Crazy.
Jury decides.
Cray.
Arguments on both sides. All of it coming up. Teddy's.
Her name on D-Block might be Cray.
What's the next big thing?
What's up, Cray? Hi.
Lots of things.
Because when they take her out of the, you know, court, she gets right back in the orange outfit. She looks scared now. She knows. But yeah. You gotta eat something before you go out, work out, you know what I mean? Peeps. Let me see, check my Facebook page. Let's take you to. Okay, let's make sure I did it right. Hello, peeps. See, I fucked up. I went over. It says 15 minutes. Alright. It says 15 minutes, but it's not. It's more. And I don't know why at the forum there's a Jodi Arias murder trial, like 2 threads. But we're not going to worry about that. That's small stuff. It says announcement. Whatever. Just click on 32 if you want to go to the most recent postings. Alright, we gotta stop this. We're over 12. Oh!